Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Classic Entertainment Connoisseur. My apologies for the inconsistency over the last few months, but as you know, we were completing our movie project, Bored Stiff, which is up now if you want to check that out. So in the last video on Charlie Chan, the Great Chinese Detective, I talked about the Black Camel, one of the most classic mysteries in the series, and one of the few survivors of the early Chan films. The others of which are Behind That Curtain and Erentese. Behind That Curtain, based on the novel of the same name, is an early talkie starring a lot of silent film actors. It's interesting to watch because you can clearly see the transitioning stage. The makeup is more of the silent era and the acting style more of the theater. And I'd like to get more into that in a moment. First, I'd like to talk about the cast. The film stars Warner Baxter, a very famous silent film actor, best known for his roles in The Great Gatsby and The Awful Truth, the remakes of which became vessels for other stars as well, like Alan Ladd and Cary Grant. Warner Baxter starred in 110 films. His first big role was in 1921, and by 1936, he was Hollywood's highest paid actor. He became wealthy beyond his dreams, but during the 1930s, he was working almost every day and cast as the leading man in dozens of Fox films, as well as being lent out to other studios like MGM. By 1940, he was well ready to retire. His earnings were substantially decreased, but he became more comfortable with his career. He found the best role for a leading man was as a serious character. This would be the Crime Doctor movies, low-budget films. It took about 8 weeks to make 2 of them, leaving the rest of the year for him to relax, travel, and spend time with his wife. For the leading lady, we have Lois Moran, born in Pittsburgh, PA, as Lois Darlington Dowling. She and her mother moved to France when she was just 12 years old, and she began singing and dancing at age 13 at the Paris National Opera. She was in her first silent film at age 14, and Behind That Curtain was one of her first talkies. She had quite an impressive career, appearing on stage, in musicals, and a number of films. Later, also, she had television appearances. Another famous face you might see in this film is Boris Karloff. He has a minor role throughout the movie as Warren Baxter's Sundanese manservant. Not a lot of talking from him, but this was his first ever sound film, and still a good few years before he was known for the movie Frankenstein. Chan himself had little part in this film, although his presence is made note of, and his importance in solving the mystery is never forgotten. He's played by E.L. Parks, the first Chinese American to get the part, as the silent film Chans were both Japanese. This guy wasn't even an actor, though. He was a costume shop owner in Chinatown that Hollywood recruited for the part. Okay, I was so impressed with the cinematography in this 1929 film. Like I said, it's much closer to the silent film style, and it's all visual. I remember watching it for the first time and not really paying attention. I was so used to the format of the later Chan films where Warner Oland is with you the whole time, pointing out clues for you and, interacting a little bit more. My mom and I were just discussing how it's almost closer to radio. It's all about the dialogue and the interaction with the detective. Something you turn on in the living room and listen to while you work in the kitchen, and you can still follow the plot perfectly fine, especially if you've already seen it a few hundred times. So let's delve into the plot a little bit. There aren't too many spoilers in this one, as the murderer is revealed quite early on. Unique to all the Chan films that follow, this one is not a whodunit. It's hardly even a how catch 'em. Only one man could possibly have committed the murder, and it is also inevitable that he will be caught. What kind of a mystery is this, you may ask? And is there even any plot? Well, ladies and gents, relax. The plot and the suspense all come from the sole fact that it is all so inevitable. It opens up in London, a brief shot of the city, and the word London tells us immediately where we are. We then go into the office of Hilary Gort, a solicitor. And this is where I wanted to delve into the cinematography of it. So, we see a clock, which gives us the exact time without anyone telling us so. We just see it. And then we see the watchman in the hall of the building. The gunshot sounds. We do not see the murder committed, but this is all we need to know. Okay, so this watchman comes up and listens at the door. We go inside a minute. We see the murderer leaving the room. Again, his face is not seen clearly. The shadows as he's leaving are perfect for this. The watchman follows him all the way home, jots down his address, and then the very next scene the watchman is seen in, he's at Scotland Yard. The camera has already revealed to us that he witnessed everything, but at Scotland Yard he tells them that he hasn't seen anything. The very next scene with this same watchman shows him not in his tattered clothes that he was in before, but all dressed up. This is a clear account of blackmail. All visual before us, yet not one word has been spoken about it. And also another clever shot here. We see her running in through the window. We see her running toward him without moving the camera around so much. We see her come in like this, and the camera barely moves at all. This was actually all shot in Death Valley. They spent 2 weeks in Death Valley shooting an on-location desert scenes. We see Chan a little bit actually in the story here. He has a few small scenes, but again, he's not really in it so much as he's present in the background. Okay. As far as the visuals, I mean, this film is really quite a find, a gem. The suspense actually is really good in this too. The plot, the mystery itself, unfolding rather than going back and looking for the clues. It's more about how it unfolds, how it unravels, and I like that. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for my upcoming videos. I'm going to be talking a lot about Charlie Chan here over the next few weeks, and I have more. I'll be talking about Frank Capra. I'll be talking about Boston Blackie. I'll be talking about a lot of old Hollywood actors and directors and some of my favorite movies from that time. Let me know what you thought of this in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and be sure to like and subscribe.